Oh, we're looking for green eyeballs. I don't know if anyone's going to come and watch this, or if anyone's going to watch it later, but this is kind of like the closest I get to a Q&A. If anyone wants to come ask questions, I'm not going to advertise it. I don't know if anyone's even going to show up. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. But either way, I'm looking for green eyeballs. Okay. So where I am is right here. I'm south of Novopokrovka, looking for some green eyeballs. Ukraine has been attacking here recently, and they've made some progress, which is cool. Hello, everybody. Um, there have been some movement here recently. I've been mapping it a little bit. The Ukraine has been moving up here. There have been some videos of shelling, and there's even more today that I've mapped, but I haven't published yet. Because I was like about to publish, and then the green eyeballs came out. So I was like, I could publish the map, or I could look for green eyeballs. So here I am, looking for green eyeballs. It might be terribly boring to look for green eyeballs with me, but we could do like a Q&A. It'll be fine. You could just ask questions or something. I don't know, we could just chat. You're making a pizza. Pizzas are pretty bomb. So, anyways, you can see shelling right here. That is shelling. And I'm curious where this is exactly. Because we know shelling is here. So I'm gonna get this coordinate. Oh boy, I didn't click it right. Okay. Give me that coordinate. Copy. Where's the copy? And I'm gonna put it into the browser, and we're gonna see where that is here. Oh, it's here, I think. Yeah. What will the next few weeks and months look like? Well, I don't think Ukraine is going to do much big attacking. They're going to keep pushing towards Kopani. But I think Ukraine's offensive is more or less over. Um, I think they're just trying to like improve their position right now to just get into a better spot. I think Russia is going to continuously attack for a while now. So I think that's what you can look forward to is just Russia continuously attacking, and I think it's going to go very badly for Russia. But they're going to do what Russia does, which is attack. If you remember, the other day I was talking with Erland and on the stream, and I said that Russia was going into this pattern that we saw like last year, where they were sending missiles into cities and doing their terror bombing again, and it seems to have been lining up like really well, like almost exactly to the day what they were doing last year. And then last year they did their terror bombing where they launched a bunch of missiles into towns and cities and stuff, and they attacked civilians. And then shortly after, they launched a big attack. Um, their big offensive. And then this year, they did their terror bombing, and right after they launched a big offensive. It's like the exact same thing again, except this year, they're just attacking a slightly different place. Which isn't to say they didn't attack Avdiivka last year, because they did. They attacked Avdiivka a lot last year. It's just that last year, all the focus was on Bakhmut, and there was not as much focus on Avdiivka in the media. But in the battle, like, Avdiivka was a huge major battle that everyone was just ignoring, like people didn't care. Ukraine and Russia both took really high casualties in Avdiivka, like really bad on both sides. Russia got trounced. They lost so much. And eventually they gave up. And it kind of went dormant for a few months. And then they had like a little push. And then it went dormant for a few months. And now there's this big push. So, yeah, just. I think what's going on in Avdiivka now is not necessarily that different than what we saw last year. It's just that people are just paying attention to it more, and they're seeing how big Avdiivka is, like how important it is, how big these battles are. Because I'm not convinced that what happened this year is that much different than last year. Just numbers wise, like the number of people that Russia has thrown into it, and the number of vehicles they've lost, I'm not convinced is bigger than last year. I think it's just more advertised. Avdiivka, up until now, Avdiivka was the biggest battle in Ukraine that nobody cared about. Like, it's been this enormous ongoing fight. You see this shelling here? All these shelling. This is like MRL, grad probably. Um, but it just nobody cared. Uh, Nobody cared about it. It was sad. Um, uh, and it's kind of been this way forever. Um, at the beginning of the war, there was the battle for the airport that people cared about. But other than that, it's been kind of off the radar mostly. So I'm just making some green eyeballs, just moving around until I see something, and then when I see something, I say something. Right? That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they teach you. There's a jingle. They say. I'm not going to sing the jingle because I can't sing, but you can sing it to yourself because you probably know it. I'm just really bad at singing. I'm not going to sing. Uh, Anyways, after this, I don't know if I'm even going to finish, but I do have about an hour to work on this to find green eyeballs, and then after that, I'm going on Tochni Talks, which is a space on on the Twitters that you can uh, listen to if you if you'd like to. We're going to be talking about Avdiivka mostly. This is some interesting shelling. Um, it's not in a spot that I would suspect the shelling to be. Kind of pretty far north. This is kind of the rear. Because the front line is like down here, but the shelling is like up there. So that's interesting. I will mark it. This will go down as light shelling. I'm only marking it because it's interesting to me, but it'll go down as light shelling. Uh, so yeah. The winter is going to be bad. The winter is not going to be good. I think everyone in Ukraine knows that the winter is going to be bad. I think the government has been putting out news warning people about the winter. It's not going to be great. Um, the, the power is going to go out a lot, probably. It could go out for prolonged periods of time, the same way as last year, if not worse. The difference is that this year, a lot of Ukrainians, oh boy, complete reload. This year, yeah, this is the Green Eyeballs chill stream. You can just ask questions. It's kind of like a Q&A. I'm just sitting here making some green eyeballs and just chatting. But the difference is this year, a lot of people in Ukraine, if not most people, have bought power generators. So that is a quality of life difference. So when the power goes out, you can at least get power from your generator. Although there is another pretty significant problem with that, in that fuel for the generator is very expensive. And I don't think many Ukrainians will be able to afford to run the generator that often, but at least it gives you an option. Maybe you could run it, 30 minutes a day or something. But yeah, the fuel is expensive. Um, First, fuel is just expensive in general, but it's also doubly expensive in Ukraine just because their average income is much lower, so they can't afford as much. Especially the older people who are more vulnerable. The younger people, a lot of them, live in cities and stuff, so that it's really the older people who are in trouble. This is some interesting shelling. I'm pretty sure Ukraine controls this tree line. I don't think I have it mapped that way, but I think they do. And the more I see shelling like this, the more I think it's true. Uh, there we go. Another green eyeball. I don't know if charity is buying fuel. I mean, I'm sure there are. I know. I know of charities who like give fuel to people. Like they will go to a town and say like, "What do you need?" and help them out. But I think that's like one off. It's not like a big program because you would need like a big program to really help a significant number of people in that way, and it would take a lot of money. It would be like probably millions and millions of dollars. It would be a very significant charity. Yeah, and just any problem that Europe has, Ukraine is going to have it way worse. Because even if the situation is literally identical in Europe and Ukraine, Ukraine just has less money, so it's worse. So okay, so I'm super interested because we have lately had the Ukrainian general staff saying that Russia attacked Ukraine near Vladina, which is right here, and also that Ukraine has been hit by airstrikes near Vladina. And now it's a perfectly clear day, and we could see. Do we see any airstrikes? Let's see. Oh boy, these are airstrikes, or maybe they might be airstrikes. They might be MRLs, but these are something. That's something. What else is there? Is there shelling? Oh boy, what's this? What's this? Look at this. Is that a bomb? Is that the airstrike? I don't know. That's something. That's something exploding. You gotta map that, right? This is super interesting. We have had no imagery from this town ever since Ukraine said that Russia was fighting here. Because, Ukraine saying Russia fought here means that Ukraine's fighting here too, right? Because this is a Russian held town. So it's weird hearing um it's weird hearing Ukraine say Russia's fighting here in a Russian held town. Okay, so that's a green eyeball. Made that green eyeball. Hey Greg. Uh we're just looking for green eyeballs today. We're looking because this is just super interesting. We get to see what's going on here for the first time. Um, there's some like shelling here, but it's not like super notable. It's very mild, very small. But these two dots are terribly interesting, so I'm gonna map that. Some green eyeball action. Okay. I don't know what these are. They could be MRL. They could be airstrikes. They could be missile strikes. They could be S-300s. They could be Smirch. I have no idea what they are, but it's interesting because this is all an area that the Ukrainian General Staff has said there is fighting here, but other than that, we've had no evidence of it. So this is the closest thing we have to evidence are these three large craters. And I don't know who made the craters. I don't know what made the craters. It's something. What else is there? I don't really see anything else. That's all. That's kind of it. Um, but that's interesting. I don't know how to interpret that. I have no clue. I don't know. There's some like mild shelling here and some mild shelling there, but it's not enough for me to mark it. I don't like we know that there's probably shelling everywhere. I don't feel like marking like really mild shelling. I want to mark things that because one of the benefits of the green eyeballs is that in a little while we might get videos of these events happening, and having the green eyeball, it gives us a hint. So like we might see a video of like a missile strike hitting a field, and then we could say, "Oh, the other day we had a green eyeball of a missile," right? And then we could see like, "Oh, let's see if this video matches that green eyeball." Here's a this is a something. This is another strike of some sort, I think. So that's one of the benefits of the green eyeballs. I'm gonna mark this too. I don't even know if this is a strike, but it's a something. I'm gonna mark it. That John Kirby thing is taken so out of context. I don't know how people misinterpret it so obviously, because what John Kirby was saying is that he wants Congress to pass a law giving more funding. That's literally all he was saying. And people are like, oh, that means the United States is not going to aid them anymore. No, he's literally saying that the congressional funding is running out and they have very little money left and he needs more. That's all he said. I think this is something. I'm not sure what this is, but it's something. I would imagine what this could be is vehicles driving in a circle. That's what I kind of think it is. I think it's vehicles driving in a circle. Um, it'd be cool if we had higher res. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, unfortunately, I'm poor. We don't have the ability to buy higher res. It's too expensive. You have to be rich. You need like $20,000 or something. See, the other problem that the United States has is that our funding, um, the government gives the president, so Congress gives the president the ability to hand out, um, distribute resources to our allies. Um, but it's all the allies. So that funding is for everybody. Okay, so everybody includes both uh, Ukraine and Israel. So now Biden needs more money than he thought he needed because of Israel. So um, that's why Congress, that's why he wants to politically link Israel and Ukraine. It's not really so much a political argument as just a legal one because they, whether you like it or not, they're linked just the way our law works. What is going on here? What is going on here? I think it's just death to plants, basically. I Yeah, these are death to plants. This is some shelling though. Shelling and plants just dying of winter, basically. Um, yeah, they can. All aid to other countries comes from the same pot of money. There's no such thing as money only for Israel or money only for Ukraine. That's just not how it works. We have money for allies, and all allies come from the same pot of money. These are all airstrikes. Most of these airstrikes I've mapped. I've mapped, I think, all of these. See, like, if you go to the map, uh, let's go. Where am I? I'm lost. Okay. I've been mapping these airstrikes, so you see them. So these airstrikes have been hitting pretty regularly, and you can see that. Oh boy, we're back too far in time apparently. But yeah, these airstrikes, at least some of them roughly correlate to these dots, these big craters. Yeah, and there's some airstrikes over here. There's some airstrikes. Oh man, there's so many airstrikes. I don't like. I kind of think I don't want to make a green eyeball because we already know it's not new information. Okay, but yeah, Israel is not the topic of conversation. I don't really want to talk about it. It's not interesting to me. Uh, Looking for green eyeballs. There's some shelling here. I don't think I want to mark that. It's not terribly interesting. It's just it's not new information. It's hard knowing which green eyeballs to pluck from the little green eyeball tree. Because I don't want the map to just end up being nothing but green eyeballs. I just want the ones that give us new information. Do you know what I mean? The lighting changes, yeah. The lighting changes for all sorts of reasons. The weather. the time of day. You just get used to it. You just know. You just look at it. You know the weather is just different. That's why like there are things that like I just know that certain things aren't actually information. So I just ignore them. Um. Oh boy, that's a big old crater. That this is really big crater too. That's like a really big one. Like compare that one to the other ones we were looking at. The other ones are like half as big. This is really big on the market. That's interesting. That might be something. You might find a video of this one day and then wonder where did this thing explode? And now we'll know. Okay. Yep, we're getting some some flying bombs soon. Hopefully there's enough rockets and whatnot. That'd be kind of embarrassing if there weren't enough rockets. I'm not sure what happens to all those old rockets. I don't know if they were ever fixed, like because you need to like replace the propellant. I'm not sure if that ever happened or if they're like actively doing it now. I don't really know. Or if they did fix them, how many they fixed. I have no idea. So I guess we're gonna find out eventually, right? Getting a little cloudy. This is getting disappointing. Clouds go away. You found a raccoon. A raccoon. What the raccoon do to you? Let the raccoon live in peace. So I think this is kind of the end of the road, or down here anyway. Uh, we can go north. What is going on in the north? Unfortunately, we can't see Bakhmut today. That would have been interesting. Wait a second. That's interesting. What do you think this red is? Oh, that was the old line, wasn't it? Okay, let's go to the north. Oh wait, where am I? No, we do get Bakhmut today. Yes, it's the old day that was from like weeks ago that didn't have Bakhmut, but today does. Today does have Bakhmut. So now we're gonna have to compare Bakhmut to January 30th. A long time ago. January 30th was a very long time ago. There's gonna be massive changes since then. Massive. But whatever. Bakhmut. We got Bakhmut. Oh, we got all this stuff too, all the way down to Vuladar. Oh, there's so much. Oh, there's so much to look at. Yeah, I mean, if you want to ask a question, ask a question. Because we're not talking about anything. We're looking for green eyeballs. That's what we're doing. If you don't want to look for green eyeballs, then I suggest leaving. Or if you want, this is kind of like a Q&A. Um, yeah, the to get this sort of imagery, like where you just scroll around, is insanely expensive. Like we're like ridiculously expensive. If you want to just buy like an image of like a square kilometer, it's not that bad. You can do that, but that's not what I do. There are people who do that sort of thing, like people who search for air defense. They are interested in doing that sort of thing where, they say, I think there's an air defense system right here. And then they'll buy an image, a high res image of like 1 or 2 or 5 square kilometers. And then they'll say, there is an air defense there. Like, I don't do that though. So you see what I do. I am scrolling through everything, trying to find information. And that is a fundamentally different thing. And oh boy, what happened here? This is crazy. That's a whole lot. This is a whole lot of. Oh boy. I wasn't expecting that. Looking for green eyeballs is definitely not my favorite part. But it is interesting because you learn way more doing this than you do doing most other things. Like this, for example, is fascinating. Look what happened here. This is probably, if I were to guess, obviously I don't know what this is, but if I were to guess, these are toss. These are toss. I'm pretty sure. This is, and a lot of them, obviously. Uh, so this is like this kind of looks like this could be a toss strike, and that could be a toss strike, and this could be a toss strike. So it could be like three full launches of toss. So I think a toss fires like 12. This looks like it could be 30 or something. You have to understand the reason why the United States wants to do a big package. They want to do one package that covers everything because Congress is a total train wreck. And they want to just do it once and move on. Because we're entering an election year, okay? And well, it's not an election year, but anyways, we're entering what's effectively an election year. We're going to have the Republican primary going all through next the beginning of next year. You know, we're having a huge budget crisis right now. We're having tons of political instability, like every single type of political instability you could possibly imagine, all happening at the same time. We don't even have a Speaker of the House. Basically rewrote the rules on what a speaker is and isn't on the fly, and now nobody can agree on getting a new one. We have a presidential election coming up. We have congressional elections coming up. The House is in a total chaos where there's basically a three-party system in the House of Representatives, and nobody can work together. Nobody wants to compromise. So these is a total train wreck. The United States is in political turmoil, and they want to just get one bill passed that can cover the whole year so that they can try to figure out the train wreck they're in. So that's the issue. That's why they want to just get one giant bill, the biggest bill that they can to get, and push it. Oh, here's even more super heavy shelling. This is very interesting stuff. This is like the first. We've had videos from here, from this Vuladar area. Actually, it's more Mikilska. Um, but I think the videos were old. Honestly, they're new but old. Uh, I'll show you some of these videos, or maybe just screenshots from them. But you'll see the point. Let's go to my map. Let's go at this area. So I'll turn off the crosshair. Where am I? I'm lost. Okay, here. So we have had shelling here, and keep in mind this is like the area, like here. This is the area where all of those really heavy like toss strikes apparently were. It was like right here. Um, And oh boy, look at that. So this is the shelling that we've had, and it appears that Ukraine is getting really close to Mikilska. Now we don't know if Ukraine is advancing or if Russia is trying to beat them back, or what. We don't actually fully know whether this is Ukraine was always there and now Russia is trying to push them out, or if Ukraine advanced here and Russia is upset. But we're seeing really heavy shelling right here and really heavy shelling right here, and Ukraine is apparently getting closer and closer and closer to Mikilska. Okay, so that's why these two so this and this are both super interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's keep going. Um, I don't really see anything here. Yeah. Over here, I don't see anything. Let's keep going. Oh, we're getting close to where the big battle was, man. This is a big battle over here. Let's see what the big battle. Oh boy, let's look at this big battle. Oh boy. See, this is where one of the huge Russian offensives was. So everybody's talked about the attack. Oh, wow. Look at everything going on here. Look at this. What is that? That's a giant crater. And this is a giant, these are two absolutely enormous craters. What is going on here? What is it even a crater? It's just, it's a lot. This is just a lot. This is so much. This is wild. This is and we're wait until we get to Avdiivka. We're gonna be there in, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. Oh boy, I'm gonna break this into pieces, I guess. There's just so much. I can't make one green eyeball. This is a lot of green. So we're gonna do one green eyeball here. Um, uh, yeah, we have videos from here. Um, I mean, I've shared some of the videos. And you can look at my map to look at more. There's a lot of videos from here. Basically, what happened. You can even see this where the tanks drove. So the tanks kind of drove up here. Um, they went like they followed this path and they attacked here. That was the video that we have. Obviously, they also attacked on this angle because you can see their tracks. And this whole area is getting absolutely shellacked. This, I have literally no idea what that is. It's just like a big black mark. What is it? It's like it's like a crater with a scorch mark on top. I have a question. So here, obviously, I don't know what this is. Could this be a crashed airplane? Just wondering. Could be, maybe. I don't know. I mean, now this number take with a grain of salt because it's not super accurate. Because it's very hot, low res, but this is approximately 70 meters across. Could be a burn. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep making green eyeballs. There's just a lot of green eyeballs here. We got to do some green eyeball justice, you know. So this will be one green eyeball. No, it's not a crater full of water. Not a crater full of water. Um, It's either a scorch or a crater. I mean, it's a crater with a scorch, I imagine. I'm just wondering what could make a scorch that big, because it's rather large. Um, I'll be right back. Right back. Sorry, my food just arrived. Okay, um, I'm back. What was I doing? Oh, I was typing. I was typing a number. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea. A fly on the lens, a fly at low Earth orbit. Yeah, man, there's just so much going on. There's so much heavy fighting. Like this is crazy. Um, this is not even the major Russian offensives. Just imagine what Avdiivka is going to look like when we get there, because we're almost there. Did I already take that picture? I forgot. No. Yes. A 1,500 kilogram bomb is rather large. You're right. Um, and there's no way that I have no ability to determine what that is. And the thing that makes it even more wild is what we're gonna see in a second is that there's another one. So the other one might be even more crazy that there are two. It's not a one-off event. It's actually multiple events. And how to interpret that, I don't know. If it were a higher res image, maybe we would know more. The shelling is just everywhere. It's just so much shelling. Did I already mark here? I got lost. I did. Okay. Yeah. So there's another giant explosion over here. Where is it? Right there. What's this? It's another one. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. It's crazy, dude. Look at the level of absolute destruction. But I mean, granted, this is a 15-day period, but I don't think we have any images between those 15 days. Let me look. We might have one. Is the fifth a day? Yeah, we have the fifth, so I'll add the fifth to my little compare tool because obviously the fifth is much more recent than the 30th. So this is a 10-day period. Look at that. That's absolute insanity. That's craziness. This is a giant crater. If I'm assuming it's a crater, but I don't know what else it would be. It's like 50 to 70 meters across. It's crazy. I don't know what else to say. It's just absolutely wild. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't see that. We're very limited in our satellite quality. But while the quality we have is very low, it is objective. And this is objective measures that we do not often get access to. We don't often have objectivity, unfortunately. Unfortunately, a lot of information gets filtered by who knows who, and it's annoying because they often get things wrong, frankly. So this is not a peon crater. It's not a peon crater. This is this is like a 50-meter wide hole in the ground. It is. I'm gonna mark it as very large crater, and there's two of them, obviously. So, oh boy, reloading. Yeah, and we do know that this area was already basically defoliated, so I'm not sure what would even be there to catch fire in the first place. Because not only was this place shelled into nothingness, but we've had tanks driving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, so it's completely torn torn apart in every sense. And then there's a giant crater. A10s are not a very good plane. An A10 can only really be effective if you have the ability to stop the enemy from obliterating the A10. It's a very slow plane, not very maneuverable, and there's a whole lot of stuff that can easily shoot it down. So it just isn't the right plane for this war. It's not. I mean, if this were the American Air Force, with all of the American Air Force behind it, protecting it, then maybe. But they don't have all the F-16s and F-35s and all the other stuff to protect them. An Apache would be really nice, actually. It would be fantastic to have Apaches. Big fan. Um, Unfortunately, Apaches are very expensive. And loads. There's a lot of shelling up here too. You can really see that this was a major Russian objective. That they have put so much into this attack that they have achieved so little. It's crazy. And this wasn't even their main attack. This was their like secondary attack, right? Because we're about to get to the main attack. We're about to get there. As soon as I am done looking at this little location, which would be very soon. Load! Load! Yeah, and the issue of an Apache is that the Apache's main weakness are fixed wing assets. And Russia has a lot of those, don't they? They have a lot of fighters that can shoot down Apaches. Now, shooting down an Apache is easier said than done, but if you have a whole bunch of fighters flying around, you're gonna get them every once in a while. Load! Not loading. Very frustrating. Okay. I'd love to look over here, but it's not letting me. Load. Well, to be fair, it is loading the new map. It's just not loading the old map. Yes, maintaining jets does take knowledge. Oh, okay. So I guess we're just going to compare it to the 30th because the 5th isn't loading anymore, apparently. Well, the 30th doesn't want to load either. Fantastic. Okay, so I'd love to look at this this area though, because I know that there's fighting here, and nothing's loading. Very frustrating. All right. Well, I guess we're just going to give it a minute, right? From what I understand, their fighters do patrol. I believe what they do is that they will do when they sense Ukraine put up a plane. I believe they put up their fighters to try to shoot down the plane. I'm pretty sure that's what happens because they get up, they shoot their missiles, and yeah, that's what they do. The whole website just stopped. Apparently, that's it. That's it. It just doesn't want to anymore. It's done. Website. What if I like press refresh? Refresh. Hmm. It's not loading anymore. It doesn't want me to look at anything else. It's a secret. It's all a secret. Hmm. Anyways, what Ukraine needs is mortars. They need mortars. People underestimate how incredibly important mortars are. They're so important. They're not they're not sexy. Okay, it's not sexy having a mortar, but it's critical to have mortars. You need them. You need a lot of them. You need a lot of ammo all the time, and they just don't have anywhere remotely close to enough ammo. And people aren't taking it seriously. Like, if you talk to infantry, they'll tell you. If you talk to the Ukrainian military, they'll tell you. But if you talk to like a Twitter expert, they don't talk about it. It's wild. Where am I? I just want to look at Avdiivka. Right, we're skipping ahead because the website broke. Right. Well, I think everything broke. I don't know. Oh, it's loading. It's loading. It's loading. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go to the 5th. Mortars are the thing that Ukraine needs more than anything. It's not artillery. and it's not airplanes, and it's not all those other toys. It really is just mortars. They're vital. All right, so here is Avdiivka. It's not loading the middle. Load the middle. So you can see why looking for green eyeballs drives me crazy. Because we were on a roll. We were finding green eyeballs left and right, and the website just breaks. And this is just life looking for green eyeballs. This is the way they treat you. It's very rude. It's not loading the middle, which is the one place we want to look. Okay, what about over here? Very frustrating. Yeah. Well, yeah. One thing to keep in mind is that mortars are not artillery. Mortars are an infantry weapon. Ooh, this is getting brutal. Like I'm being honest here. I'm like losing my patience. Like I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge of getting tilted. Okay. So here there's a lot less than I thought there would be. Honestly, like there's okay. Tell me if you disagree. Doesn't it look like there was a whole lot more going on around Krasnohorivka than here? Is this just like a psyop? Honestly, this looks like it has a tiny, like itty bitty fraction of how much has happened at Krasnohorivka. But this is what got all the press. This is why objective measures matter. Krasnohorivka was way worse than this. Not even close. Not even close. This is wild. This is so much less than I expected. There are some green eyeballs though, so let's make some green eyeballs. Um, there's some MRL shelling here. Uh, this is just wild to me. Like this is not what I expected. I expected this to look like the other one. I really thought this would be the major battle, and it obviously isn't. It just obviously isn't the major battle. The other place was. The other like this has a ton of shelling. Let's not be wrong about that. There's tons and tons of shelling here, but this is nowhere near the level of shelling. Like it's not even remotely close. Um, like I called what was around Krasnohorivka. I labeled it as extremely heavy shelling, and I'm gonna label this as heavy shelling because it is heavy shelling. This is heavier than most places in Ukraine, no doubt, but it's nowhere close. It's not even remote. It's like this looks like it's maybe a quarter as much shelling as Krasnohorivka. Not Krasnohorivka. It was Novomykolivka. That yeah, Novomykolivka had way more. Close. Novum. I still have no idea what those giant craters were. Those are wild. Where else is shelling? Like, honestly. Was this all just a... Was this just like a psyop? Was this all a psyop to distract from Novomikhailivka? Like, legit. And notice how, oh, the Russians, oh yeah, we got all the way to Berdichi. Yeah, okay. Okay. Show me a single crater, one single artillery crater between Stepovat and Berdichi. Okay. Come on, Rebar. Cryboy. Show me one. Show me one crater, you absolute tosser. What a loser that guy is. The only thing I know about Bandicoot is that they made a video game of him, and he was one of the first video games I ever bought with my own money. That's all I know about Bandicoots. Okay, so basically what we've learned from Avdiivka is that Russia lied about how far they got. They took enormous casualties, and the scale of the battle appears to be exaggerated. What else is that? That's all I know to say from looking at this. That's what I got. And remember, we are looking at the northern part of Avdiivka because the southern part refused to load and I gave up on it. I'm gonna get back to that southern part in a second. As soon as I label this green eyeball that I'm making right now, and yep. Okay, so I labeled the green eyeball. We're gonna go back to the south, and pray that it works this time. This is not older satellite. It's literally from this morning. This is this morning. It literally was published like an hour ago. Not old. From this morning. Okay, so, okay. And this is the southern approach to Avdiivka. Let's see. Is there massive shelling? Not really. Bruh. Bruh. What is there to say? What is there to... what the... Okay, so... let's just keep this image, right? So I'm just going to keep this image. I just screenshotted this. And we're going to go back to Novomikhailivka. Where is Novomikhailivka? I'm lost again. I get so lost. Okay, it's over here. Somewhere. It's over here. Where are you? That's the... there it is. We found it. We got there in the end. Okay, so let's just compare the two. Let's just compare the two once it loads. It'll load, don't worry. We've been over the A10. It's not a good plane. The A10 is not a good plane. That artillery expenditure chart is completely bogus. It's not even worth talking about. Okay, so let's look at, let's just compare. Let's compare and contrast while this very slowly loads. Let's just compare. Let's compare and contrast. This is Russia's main attack north of Vodiana. And this is their attack south of Novomykolaievka. Compare the two. They're not even close. Look at this. There's like as many shells in this little section as there is like right there. It's bruh. This is crazy. And this is what was advertised as the main assault. This isn't the main assault. This was the main assault. This was the main assault. Are you as lost for words as I am? We're all DDoSing it. Everybody DDoSes it all at once. That's why I can't load. You're all looking at it on your own, huh? This is. I wasn't expecting this. I was. It's clear I wasn't expecting. I was hyping this up just a moment ago. I was expecting enormous shelling. Enormous. Like I was expecting, like in a huge battle. That's not what we see here. That's not what we see here at all. Not all of the vehicle losses were Avdiivka, although a lot were. A lot were. But we're not this like you know what I mean though, right? Like this isn't what was advertised. In those videos, just keep in mind the Russians were saying that they were firing 200 guns at a time all day long for days. They were saying they were firing 200 guns all day long for days. And the shelling is so minor that you can barely see it in the satellite imagery. Like there's some shelling over here for sure. The shelling is so minor that the trees aren't even damaged. That's how we know. That's how you know. See, there's shelling here for sure. For sure. Um, Jeez, man. It's gonna be a lot of green eyeballs today. A lot of green eyeballs. Okay. Um, I don't. I'm kind of at a loss for words right now. I don't know what to say. There's shelling here. Didn't I just? I can't remember what I mapped. Hey, thanks, Lena. Thank you. I'm glad you find green eyeballs useful. I think they're really useful. It takes a lot of time to do them, to build them up, but they teach you something that you don't get otherwise. And I used to do it just by myself, and I decided you could stream it. Why not? If nobody watches the stream, well, nobody was watching me do it by myself in my room anyway, so. Anyways, does anybody have any other questions about something? While I update my spreadsheet of green eyeballs. Okay, maybe they're shelling over here. Like maybe they're shelling in the back, like counter battery fire. There's some here. No, that's old. It's not even new. It's old. Okay. I think looking at this imagery is one of the most informative ways to learn about what's actually going on outside of propaganda. You can't see everything. Obviously, you can't see everything, and people criticize it for that. But you don't need to see everything. You don't need to see everything to learn. You can see small pieces. And honestly, if we had maximum resolution, and there's a lot going on here. If we had the maximum resolution images, we still wouldn't be able to see everything because we wouldn't have the time in the day to even look at it all. This must be that airstrike that the general staff wrote about, I think yesterday afternoon. Yes. Thank you, Lena. Yeah, too much. In a way, it is kind of nice that we're limited in what we see. What is frustrating are the cloudy days. The quality of the images I'm fine with because I don't know what I would do with higher quality anyway. But the cloudy days are annoying. I wish I could see through the clouds. See, the reason Russia's been targeting this town, targeting the rail. They blew up the rail here the other day, but they've been basically targeting it because they see it as a logistics node for Ukraine, and this one here too. They've been targeting this one for the exact same reason. Um, in fact, they hit this town with a bomb, I believe, this morning or last night, and I believe they probably were aiming for the train, the rail station. I don't even know if trains actually run here. I kind of doubt they do, but they're blowing up the rail infrastructure basically. Cryboy 100% works for the Russian government. He's an FSB agent, right? Pretty sure I'm pretty sure like he was like infamously an FSB agent. He is absolutely getting his info from the government. He's being told what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. He's not an independent person at all. I doubt he is even compiling his information or writing it. Um, I think he's probably like a middle manager while other people do all the work for him. What else is there to say? This is not what I was expecting to look at in Avdiivka. Um, is this shelling or is this just revealing old scars? I think this is just really revealing old craters from the plants dying. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is such a thing as an independent blogger in Russia. Um, I think they all, in varying degrees, work for the government. Um, either either they literally work for the government or they have the nod of the government, one or the other. Yeah. I mean, what is there's very little to say about Avdiivka. I mean, we've all seen the videos of the destroyed tanks. Obviously there was a battle. No one's disputing there was a battle. But the scale of the destruction that we see from artillery shelling is so much less than I expected. Like 10% is what I expected. I was expecting it to look like Novomykolaivka, where just everything exploded. I was expecting to see entire tree lines disappear. I was expecting to see huge fighting. What are green eyeballs? What's a green eyeball? Well, the easiest way to tell you what a green eyeball is that you'll know it when you see it. You know what I mean? You'll know it when you see it. So yeah, this is it. So we can go back down to Marinka, which it didn't load before. Maybe it'll load now. It's loading now. That's cool. Uh, really want to look at this area right here. The one area that's not loading. Really? Am I gonna have to come back to it later or something? Oh, it's loading slowly. Oh, here it comes. Yeah, I have to leave in a few minutes. I think what I am gathering from looking at these images is that Avdiivka was not the main attack. It was a secondary attack, and Novomykolaivka was the main attack. That's what I think this is all pointing towards. People were acting like Novomykolaivka was the secondary attack, and Avdiivka was the main attack. And that appears to be wrong. It appears to be the other way around. Novomykolaivka was the main attack, and Avdiivka was the secondary attack. And I think that's what this evidence is pointing towards. Yeah, we have green eyeball right here. That's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Bakhmut, to Klashivka, because I don't want to like blue ball you guys and stop before getting there. I'll look at Mariinka later. Let's just get to it's New York. This whole New York area, I'll look at all this later. Yehidna, Upitna, Klashivka. Let's see if it loads. Yeah, because there is a show, Tochny Talks, that starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is in 8 minutes. And I'm going to be on that show talking about Avdiivka. So if you want to talk about Avdiivka more, we can go look at it, and you could bet your house that I'm going to mention what we just saw, what we just witnessed, is going to be a topic of conversation. So that's in 8 minutes. I don't think we're going to be talking about Avdiivka. I believe the show is going to start with an interview about weather, about the changing of the weather in Ukraine. And then after that, it's going to go to Avdiivka. So it's the Avdiivka part's probably going to start in about 30 minutes. Here, I will get see, this is the thingy. Just go to Twitter and type in Tochny. They're already live, so you can go start listening now. Although it's live, but it's not live, if you know what I mean. Because they haven't started yet, but they'll start in a few minutes. Right now, it will be like their beginning song. not content yet, but so this is going to be here. I will I'll put a link in the description of this video. How about that? Does that work? There. The link is in the description. I think you probably have to reload the page to look at the description. But in the meantime, we're going to find some green eyeballs next to Bakhmut, because we still have a few minutes to find some green eyeballs. And you gotta, you gotta use every minute you got to find as many green eyeballs as you can. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you might miss one. So this is all the area where I believe this is all the area that Ukraine has advanced to. So just look at this. Look at the shelling over here, right there. So I'm gonna make that a green eyeball. Okay. So oh, yeah, you got stuck with an X app, huh? You don't have a bird on your app, huh? I still have a bird. Look at this. Birdie, right there. Look at him. He's flapping his little wings. I don't have no X's. I don't use that X app. I just use Twitter. Wait, you know what? Do you know why Twitter couldn't be called Twit? Because Twit was already a show before Twitter ever existed. It is called This Week in Tech. This Week in Tech, hosted by Leo Laporte. Okay, that is Twit. They wanted to call tweets twits, but they couldn't because Leo Laporte already owned Twit. That's why. So they ended up calling it tweets instead. Another fun fact is that Leo Laporte was one of the original super users of Twitter. Like, he was one of the original adopters of the website, and I think he may have been like one of the first people to a million followers. I think something like that. I don't think he was literally the first, but I think he was among the first. I used to, when I was a little kid, I used to listen to Leo Laporte all the time. Now I don't anymore. But I used to. In like 2000, like 20 plus years ago. Okay, so I think this is it. I think that's the last green eyeball I'm gonna get in the stream. I'm gonna keep going because I'm not done yet. It's gonna take me another few hours to finish all the green eyeballs. But the show is going to start in a minute, and I'm gonna go do that. And yeah, you can come listen to Touchney. The link is in the description, and we'll see you there. Okay, goodbye.